God.
I'm liking MeomaikA over here. So we did jump back here, and we did have to wait a little while after the duct tapes played, and we found out why. It's because MeomaikA actually wanted to finish watching that duct tape. We do stream with a 2-minute delay, so man just wanted to watch this duct tape.
I didn't blame
Can't quite blame him, and apparently also he wanted to bet both these players actually betting against each other. Why not?
Why not, mate? Why not? As we are getting ready for our grand finals here for the first time, best of 5, first time in a long time, no point advantage.
My God. And one of those players who doesn't have a point advantage here is going to be spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the top right-hand corner of Juggernaut. Going for another 12 over the third player coming over from India representing Alpha X. He is Demi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Juggernaut ALE, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player. He is blue, representing Intensity Esports, going for a 12 pool as well. It is MeomaikA.
Mein Gott.
So
well, we mentioned that both players like the 12 fools.
I'm really curious, is MeomaikA going to actually make Lings though? We'll see, because we've spoken about Juggernaut in the past, and there it is, MeomaikA, he's the kind of player who doesn't just go for Lings, but he also prioritizes his queen on maps like this.
He really likes to take advantage of that speed zone as a way to try to deter the overlords as well. MeomaikA's a sneaky player. He wants to be sure he can get away with whatever tricks he can really do. Demi, meanwhile, going a little bit more economic, prioritizing the gas, so he's going to be the first player to get his Ling speed, or maybe even the Baneling Nest, and also getting his natural base a decent amount quicker.
Yeah, exactly. Well, a lot of that, oh my God, as MeomaikA actually catches Lings in the middle of the map, Demi was a little bit on move command. He was not expecting Lings whatsoever, and just like that, Demi loses 3 of his Lings and is forced back home.
Just like so, and is this going to be enough momentum for MeomaikA? We'll definitely see the army difference right now of only a couple of Lings. And of course, as Demi survives this, then he is going to have such an advantage going on to the mid-game. That's also pretty big if MeomaikA turns around and surrounds a decent number of these Lings, but it looks like Demi has the upper hand.
Oh God, not at all, as at the end, both players end up with 3 Lings each, and Demi a little bit more battered than Bruce. He does have the defender's advantage with his queen, so he will be able to push on forward here. So Demi, he shouldn't die or anything like that. But again, MeomaikA, you know, he does have the faster queens, and now he's looking to waddle them across the map. We were talking about it. MeomaikA, when he goes for a 12 pool, is very different to how Demi executes his. Because on maps like Juggernaut, you can take advantage of these speed zones and actually be a little bit aggressive with all these queens.
You definitely can. Later on, if you want to go for a big push with that transfuse, that's an option available to you. But for the early game, it's mostly about just keeping the overlords away. And I would say spread creep if this is any other player, but this would be MeomaikA we're talking about. So yeah, he's not exactly spreading creep here.
I mean, he spreads creep, but with his overlords.
He does.
Yeah. Oh boy.
So,
yeah, so MeomaikA was actually able to see quite a lot there. He saw the massive wave of Lings coming out here from Demi. That is why MeomaikA is responding with this spine. It is on the way, and maybe it'll finish up by the time these things get across the map. But speed is about to finish.
That it is. And it is all. They have already come to hammer down this position. The Queen's not quite getting the wall up. And the Ling's gonna completely avoid those spines, but a little bit indecisive here, Demi is. Quite going for anything, really.
He doesn't commit, and that means that MeomaikA is able to wall off. He did force MeomaikA to make a lot of Lings, and I don't think MeomaikA really wanted them, especially because MeomaikA did skip Ling speed to go for a Roach Warren, so he's not getting Ling speed anytime soon at all. But here come the Queens.
There they do. Oh, look at that. Shooting down that Overlord. Not quite in range anymore.
Oh, yeah, a little bit distracted there by the Lings. What's important, though, is that Demi, he does scout. He does, more importantly, see that the Lings are still slow, so he should be aware that, you know, roaches are on the way. And we'll see what Demi's response is going to be, because he doesn't have any tech at all. He's going for a third.
That is definitely ambitious, but something you might as well try to do if you're on a map like Jagannatha. A lot of times you see some Zerg players don't quite think about checking that third base location. MeomaikA winning the Ling War over here. Some very good surrounds. But Demi with the clutch choke point is able to chase his away without losing too much of any of his workers, really.
I have to imagine, like, just the way that MeomaikA plays, when you lose a fight like that against slow lings, like, that's got to hit your like your brain a little bit. Like that's like a mental attack, you know? Like when you see a bunch of slow lings come across the map and overwhelm your speedlings, it's like, what is happening right now? And now the roaches are here, the queens are waddling across the map, they're killing overlords, they're killing spines. Like, Demi has nothing left at home to defend, just a handful of lings.
And he does not. Those lings, they may... GG's called. MeomaikA could be taking game number 1. I was going to say, those lings, they may not be the best counter against roaches, but that was absolutely Demi's... what Demi needed to defend against roaches eventually. That's why he felt so confident in taking that third base, but MeomaikA coming in with slow lings, as you say, like, slow lings, overwhelming the lings of Demi. I think MeomaikA was just buying himself enough time so that his roaches could go across the map, but they did way more than that.
Exactly. They killed queens, they killed all the lings of Demi as well. Like, he was struggling to survive against the slow lings, and that wasn't even MeomaikA's final form. As we saw, like, everything was just marching, waddling across the map. And MeomaikA takes a lead in this series.
That he does 1-0. Not quite on match point. This was a double elimination, and maybe, but...
Oh boy, and we'll see what happens here on Beckett Industries, because this is Demi's map choice, and pushes can hit very quickly on this map.
They definitely can, but I'm sure that's something that Demi is aware of. I feel like in general, when it comes to ZvZ, Demi is a very aggressive player, but when we compare them to a lot of these other Southeast Asian Zerg players, he is probably the best at defense. We'll see as we continue on to Beckett Industries LE. We're here in the bottom right hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right hand corner of the map. He's getting cultivated. He's going for another 12 pool. He is coming down from the Jewel of India, representing Alpha X, the Shark, with the... I'm trying to think of a rhyme for Scholar. The Shark with the smarts. There we go. He is Demi.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Beckett Industries LE, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player going for a pool first opening, nowhere near as quickly as his opponent's pool. We have, representing Intensity Esports, MeomaikA.
MeomaikA going for the pool first, but Demi saying, how can you go pool first if I go pool first?
Exactly. I'm pretty sure, because Demi was in the Twitch chat earlier, and someone like said, hey, is the only thing that Demi does 12 pool? Like, that's not true at all. But I feel like Demi was a little bit insulted by that, and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to 12 pool every game now. Let's go. I'm going to prove a point.
I'll show you how effective 12 pool can be.
And again, 12 pool does hit a lot harder on Beckett Industries just because of the speed zones, just because they go across the map so much faster. MeomaikA, though, because he went for a pool first opening, like, he will have links to defend. We'll see how good his drone micro is, though, before those things pop out.
Yeah, MeomaikA did spot this a little bit earlier on, so he is opting for that spine crawler. Is he actually just going to cancel the hatchery? Meo.
I think he's just preparing for the worst. He does have a couple of lings popping out, and yeah, there we go. He should be saving his base, ideally. There we go.
Oh boy. Yeah, definitely could have been a lot worse. So you know what's terrible? And if they... Okay, the lings don't quite surround the spike crawler yet, but MeomaikA is looking to sandwich these lings. He's being very fancy with his drone micro, but he is not mining with them.
He's
got
not.
half the income right now.
To be fair, MeomaikA, I don't think like he ever really cares about his economy. It's just hashtag MeomaikA things. The spine is done, and now it is repositioning. Oh, this is one drone.
Oh, but it does take a while to burrow back down. 1 drone, 2 drones.
Oh, but
that's gonna be it.
Yeah, and as we can see, things do kind of even out here. At least Demi was able to get some drone kills. At least he was able to force a lot of lost mining time. Another drone was forced to be turned into a spine. What I am concerned about is you know, his speed timing and how late it is.
Yeah. He's definitely very committed to this. He's pulled off gas entirely. He's just looking completely link flood, and I think this might work out pretty well for him. MeomaikA is only now working on his baneling nest, but it's not quite going to be up here in time. I guess it comes down to the spine crawlers if MeomaikA is able to buy himself enough time.
Well, it's also like depending on if MeomaikA scouts. Right now, he has overlords out here, but not in the best positions. He doesn't have any scouting lings either. He has no idea what the drone count is looking like, and Demi so far has done a really good job at just keeping his lings hidden, waiting for ling speed to finish up, and then just go across the map. Just send them, mate.
Just like so. But I tell you what, Light, you mentioned it earlier. MeomaikA doesn't really care about his economy, does he? Because he has not made drones. He made a couple of drones, but not much after that. He has made nothing but lings. Still very far behind in the army supply, but it might be just enough.
We'll see. The spine is getting surrounded. The queen almost getting surrounded. We do have a couple of babies on the way. One gets canceled, but it looks like one may finish up.
Oh! One of them does finish up. It doesn't get too many Zerglings, but I tell you what, like, it got enough.
That it did, and now Demi, he's losing the ling battle here. He does not have any banelings of his own. As you said, he has 0 gas income at the moment, and now with things in MeomaikA's favor, things looking really dire here for Demi, especially because whenever MeomaikA wants to, there it is. We have banelings on the way.
They're so low, though, like.
Oh god, that they
on this. Not quite going for one of these banelings. Can he get it? It's distracted. And the baneling pops up. Oh, yeah. And that's going to be it. GG. MeomaikA now on match point. Ay.
Oh god, Demi, like, he kept his attack hidden for so long, which was great, and he was able to win a little skirmish in the middle of the map. But as we saw, MeomaikA, like, he's not one to drone up.
Can we make that just a quote from now on? MeomaikA, he doesn't really care about the economy.
He doesn't. He really doesn't. He's like, it's like, oh, you know, if I go for this all in, and if my opponent has been focusing on their economy and their workers, I can catch them off guard. It's like, oh, but I'm up against MeomaikA. Oh no.
This would have worked really well against like Go-Go Joey or even Ender, but oh my god. You know, Zerg players who are a lot more sane, shall we say.
Exactly. Oh boy, as we are getting into game number 3.
Numero trio. No, numero tres.
Da.
I'm getting a little bit worried here for Demi at this point, Light.
Oh boy. I imagine he's on a 12 pool, right? He's got a 12 pool.
On the Manta side? Will he?
We'll see.
Third time's the charm, as they say. But what is MeomaikA going to do, though? Because I'm worried for Demi for multiple reasons. You know, there's a lot of momentum going MeomaikA's way. There's obviously the mental factor going on here. You know, you're already up match point this quickly. But what worries me the most is that we've seen it time and time again. Like, MeomaikA, once he's a match point, he just pulls out the most random build that he can think of. And more often than not, it catches his opponent off guard and works. But we'll see. We'll see here on Romanticide. We're in the bottom right-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom right-hand corner. The red Zerg player who hasn't gone 12 fool. Okay, he's not going 12 fool. He is coming out from the Jewel of India. He is representing Alpha X. At one point, he was the Grand Platypus, and still, he is a legend in the open. He is still in the highest of tiers. But now he needs your help. He needs all your support back at home. He is. They say he's representing Alpha X. I think he did. The Shock himself, Demi.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide LE, we have the Vietnamese Zerg player. He is blue. He is representing Intensity Esports. And both players going for hatch first. It is MeomaikA.
Quite possibly the only map that Zerg players feel comfortable going hatch first in ZvZ.
It's one of those things where, like, it's kind of like, I don't want to say it's a flip of a coin, but it's very dependent on the players. I've seen Gogo Joy versus MeomaikA on Submarine where they both go hatch first.
That's well,
like, there's things like that sometimes happen. You know, the wind shifts and then the players kind of link up and then they just kind of go for the same
with
thing.
the tides.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I approve of this. You know, thankfully, Demi in game number 3 doesn't go for the 12 pool. He's playing this so far a little bit more standard.
Yeah, what a transformation as well. I mean, game number 1. Or, no, sorry, game number 2, Demi's first map pick, I should say. We went on the shortest rush distance map. We went to Beckett Industries, and now his second map pick, gonna go for the longest map in the map pool. Well, not the longest, but the largest in terms of area.
Yeah. Exactly. And for the longest time, I would say that this is the map that Demi thrives on. We haven't really been able to talk about it too much just because of how fast the series has been going, but Demi is a little bit more comfortable in a more standard, longer game, you know, Roach versus Roach, or, you know, getting his famed mutas out. Like, Demi, when it comes to Southeast Asia, he is the muta king, you know? Jim may have that in Latin America, but Demi, he's our own mutalist connoisseur. And I'm sure he would love to get into them. Just, yeah, the games just haven't gone on long enough to do so.
So what I'm hearing for you, Light, is Jim Rising versus Demi show match coming real soon, right?
Oh god, maybe.
Rey de las Mutas.
We'll sort out the next show match series at some point. I know Cham
would love to get into that.
Yeah, Cham wants his rematch, man.
He does.
Oh god, and it's gonna be a lot easier to organize as well because Cham's in Korea.
He is, yeah. They lost special, but they gamed Cham.
Yeah, there you go. Only one can never be in the country at a time.
Cham was like, now's our chance. One's out of there. But as we continue on, Demi being, or looking to be a little bit more aggressive it seems with that earlier Baneling Nest, but MeomaikA is preparing for that, going for Carapace first from his Evo Chamber.
Yeah, very interesting decision here. I mean, MeomaikA will have the advantage in terms of upgrades just because of how fast his Evo Chamber was. And what's interesting is that MeomaikA is skipping the Baneling Nest completely. Demi was being a little bit safer, going for his Baneling Nest just to make sure he doesn't die to a Ling run by. Despite going for that though, the Lings actually still make it into the main.
Before Carapace, wow.
Oh god. And so,
these Lings, I mean, they strike Demi a little bit, but
more importantly, they go in, like, they scout, they confirm, hey, there's no fast lair, there's no extra gases in the main base or anything crazy like that. I see that you went for a safety Baneling Nest, so MeomaikA should be feeling pretty good right now.
Definitely. But did he see that Roach Horn?
He did not.
Double check that. There we go. So maybe he didn't think it was just a safety Baneling Nest.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, he is missing that information at the moment. Meanwhile, Demi, likewise, he also gets into the main base, confirms, hey, there's no, like, fast spire, there's no fast lair of any sort. But which is why I have to question, you know, what the hell is MeomaikA doing?
I don't think that can be answered quite yet.
Because he's got a lot of queens.
Yeah, he does have a lot of queens.
No
now
lair.
he's throwing down the Roach Warren.
Yeah, it's so late. He has Carapace.
Huh.
I mean,
I'm scratching my head right now. He got Carapace earlier on, and now he's working on range weapons.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, what MeomaikA is doing is perfectly fine. Like, he's just being a little bit greedy, and he's getting away with it. Like, his Roach Horn is so late, but it doesn't matter because Demi's not being aggressive. Like, he's terrified. He's stuck at home.
Yeah, not quite getting that amount of roaches that he really needs to push across the map. MeomaikA continuing to scout with his Lings, trying to find a bit of an opening where he can maybe take out a roach or two, or even better, go for the mineral line, but not quite having it. He is just keeping Demi back for so long. His roach horn is now finished up, And now he's working on his own roaches. These are going to be better roaches than what Demi will have.
Exactly.
Eventually.
Like, MeomaikA has been droning up pretty heavily. Now he's hit 60 and he can just chill for now. He hasn't wasted any resources early on his own roaches because he doesn't need them. He's even getting a 4th base. Like, MeomaikA is just getting away with so much. We have roach speed on the way, and it's even faster than that of Demi's.
I guess MeomaikA does care about the economy sometimes.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, I'm sure Demi was being a lot more passive just because of MeomaikA's reputation, and really that helps MeomaikA more than anything a lot of the time, just kind of mind gaming your opponent. And now Demi, like, he's expanding and all this stuff, but it's all later than his opponent. The only thing that he has an advantage over is that he's working on +2 a lot faster, but 1-1 is about to finish off for Mio.
Exactly. I feel like that basically neutralizes the advantage for Demi. Huh. Alright, well, now MeomaikA is going to be transitioning over to, or maybe not so much transitioning, but he's grabbing his Spire, which just gives him a whole lot more options when it comes to harass, or even if he decides to go into Corruptus in the late game. The world is his oyster right now.
Yeah, he can do whatever he wants. Honestly, I don't think he even needs the Spire. I think he probably could have just kept going with Roach Ravager. Like, look at this massive Roach army. It's huge right now. He's dwarfing the army of Demi. Demi spots it with his Overseer, but just because he sees it doesn't mean he can do anything about it. he's trying to morph
it might
as
be
many...
worse if he sees it. Yeah, he might get a little spooked.
Oh god, this 4th. No, it finished. That means it's gonna get killed. Ay.
Well, not before he makes use of the larva that spawned over there. Got one more roach. At the very least. And MeomaikA's not too committed here. He's just creating opportunities right now. He's opening up that other attack path. Oh, you don't want to go up this ramp. Mio takes a couple of bounces to the face, and that might be what Demi needed to initiate this.
Yeah, like, even though MeomaikA has a larger army supply, like, you cannot push up a ramp like this into a concave, into roaches and ravagers. Like, oh god, MeomaikA losing a lot of roaches there. But at the end of the day, like, he does the damage he needed to, in that he killed the 4th.
Absolutely, he is running away with the economy right now. He's a little bit behind in workers, but what does that matter when you have a lot more minerals to mine from?
Oh boy. Meanwhile, Demi, he's trying to regain map control. He's expanding, taking his 4th base, even sending a cheeky Dropalord filled with roaches towards the main base of MeomaikA. But Mio, like, the two armies are actually, they're missing each other.
Huh. Demi is now turning around,
home.
but I feel like it might be too late. The Mutas might actually, oh. No, I think the Dropalord is too far away. Yeah.
Oh,
too far away, but that's a little bit of defenses for MeomaikA, and now he's gained a bit of a foothold. The Ravages are the real MVP right now for Demi. Chasing him back as much as he can. He's actually caught up and overtaken the upgrades slightly now here.
Yeah, that he has, as Demi does have +2 and Carapace +2 still on the way for MeomaikA. Those Mutalists, they revealed themselves really early on, and I'm surprised that MeomaikA didn't really commit he didn't really commit too hard to them. And here comes the Dropalord, does get a Queen, but there are roaches to defend the 3rd.
And then he just hot picks up, there we go, and goes into the main base. MeomaikA having a little bit of trouble swinging his army right now. The Muta comes out, yeah. Literally just one, and it's hard to tell who has a better position right now. Now Demi has a better position for this flank.
That he
but does he have the better army?
I mean, MeomaikA, he just keeps sitting in the biles. He's being distracted by roaches in his main base. He is not paying attention whatsoever. Despite sitting in bile after bile, it doesn't even matter. The macro is just too good for Mio. And the Queen's... What are you guys doing here?
They're transfusing each other.
Oh no, transfuse me!
Only one Queen lives to tell the tale, but that is all MeomaikA needs. Almost double the army supply. I'm scratching my head right now, Light. I know I was never good at math, but these engagements are logic-defying. GG is called, and MeomaikA sweeps the finals. I hesitated there because I thought I had more to say, but I didn't, so I just ran into Korean casters.
GG, well played. Mio, I just love how he went for Aspire and then he made us literally one muta, a single mutalisk.
So you need really. That was him taunting Demi. Really, it's like I hear you saying that Demi's a muta king. Well, guess what? I can make a muta as well.
It's one of those things where MeomaikA's like, yo, I'm going to show you that I can win this game even by wasting resources in Aspire and making a muta. Like it literally didn't. It like barely impacted the game. Sure, it got like a couple of overlords here and there, but I mean the queens were doing that as well as they were marching across the map.
The queens were the better mutalists than the mutalists were.
The queens killed more overlords than the muta. But GG, well played. MeomaikA, once again, proving to us all that he is still the Grand Platypus.
Indeed he is. In that last game in particular, I'm going to have to go back and look at a couple of those engagements because it really did seem that Demi, with those Ravagers, with those Biles landing, it seemed like he was going to have the edge. They were even on upgrades, but MeomaikA somehow.
I mean, I would say that Demi was fighting better, but at the end of the day, like he just didn't have the numbers. Like the defender's advantage. Like he was fighting at the hatchery. Like roaches just kept popping out, man. It was too much.
That's usually what it comes down to. When it's these low tech armies facing each other, right? Where it's Marines versus Marines, Stalkers versus Stalkers. Well, I guess with Stalkers there's a lot more micro potential, but.
Yeah, and I mean, even though Demi did get taken down here, I mean, I'm very impressed, and it's great to see that he was able to go this far. Again, I'm really curious to see how much he can grow. There was a period where he peaked last year, and he was a dominant Zerg player last year and even the year before, and he had so much momentum going his way. He was doing well in Dare Cups. He was if you remember, 2020 started with him like just sweeping Probe 3-0 in our show match series. Like he crushed Probe so easily. It was crazy. Demi was on fire. And then he fell off a little bit, you know.
And he had to go to uni.
Yeah. He focused. I mean, to be fair, like it's understandable. You got to focus on your studies. But I would love to see that Demi of old come back.
My words are failing. As do I. That's the term I was looking for. As there's definitely quite a bit of opportunity here, especially with Lord Loken coming up. I know Demi doesn't play in his own tournament, but you know, if he, regardless, there's still plenty for the rest of Asia division over here. Grand Platypus Open. There is Audai. No, Audai close down. Unless it didn't, I could be misremembering something.
It did.
I think my okay. You paused, and I was like, wait, did I say something?
Oh god, but yes. GG. I mean, Demi, as you said, he still has plenty to play in. I mean, not just these regional events, but, you know, there's also things like ESL Open Cup Asia, which we have seen players like MeomaikA and Gogo Joey sign up for, even Ranger. Speaking of...
And beat players like Kior,
yeah. exactly. But wow, what a tournament. Congratulations, MeomaikA. Thank you so much. Massive shout out to Lord Loken for boosting the prize pool by 35 USD. Amazing. Thank you so much.
I have to agree. I have to echo these sentiments coming down here. And yeah, Demi, I think this is the first time Demi gets a little bit of Lord Loken sugar.
Yeah.
Should I be calling it that?
I don't think we should. I think we should stop before that goes too far. God, but thank you for joining me today, Yaku. I know this is a bit of a shorter broadcast. I mean, it's only been 2.5 hours, mate. It's quick.
Really?
Yeah.
Single limb. You need to have more of it.
mainly on our amateur events. Feels bad, man. Steel mold. Feels bad, man.
Feels bad, yeah.
But with that, thank you so much for joining me today for our broadcast. And mate, are you going to be streaming soon? I know your classes are starting up again this week, right?
Oh, should I? Is it?
You're like,
where am I? Where am I?
What's happening? What's happening in the land of Yaku land?
It's playing static 24/7. But yeah, my classes do start on Monday, which is, I was gonna say it's a little bit of an unfortunate time for it to start because DreamHack's coming up and whatnot. But funnily enough, I think my schedules might. Then again, there are assignments. God damn, I always forget about that part. Regardless, it is gonna be a bit more of a busy May coming out for me. So don't expect too many streams. I might do a bit of a shorter stream, maybe tomorrow, because I had an idea of a community challenge on my personal channel.
Mhm.
So I might do like a 1-hour stream just to show off what it is. But yeah, don't expect too much. Aside from that, you can find me. By the way, you can find me over there at Twitch.tv/Yakuzaku1. But other than that, you can find me over at Twitter.com at !Yakuzaku! ! Discord in the chat. You can find myself and all the other Cranky affiliates and Cranky Ducklings, now including Oreo and Starduck, hanging about there. And other than that, buy my shirts. We fed you, Light.
Find me at lights_VIP on Twitch and Twitter. I do stream some ladder occasionally, every now and then. Not as much as I should, to be fair. And I also do stream Final Fantasy as well. If you are interested in, watching some of the Ducklings behind the scenes, just do other things, just play other games.
Now a homeowner.
Yeah, now a homeowner in Final Fantasy. Mate, it took a long time. It took I lost days of my life. Literal days of my life.
Slept for 2 hours, and in those 2 hours, you only dreamt of owning a house.
That was actually Kuro. She legitimately had dreams about the house. Oh god. But as Yaku said, for those wondering who maybe didn't hear the news, yes, the Cranky Ducklings, we have started a new team. We have signed both Oreo and Starduck. They will be representing us in ANZ Champs, DreamHack, and in all other StarCraft related events. They are now officially a part of the team, and the announcements don't end there. I'm not going to say anything right now, but we do have other players coming in, on the horizon as well. More Ducklings, if you will. The two players that we signed, Oreo and Starduck, yes, they are just our oceanic representatives. We are definitely looking at other regions, and we are looking at other players to pick up as well.
If you can guess who correctly by the time we announce it, then congratulations. But
yeah, you can come up with a couple of ideas in the chat as well. Some theories. I know in Discord a couple of people were like, yo, eggs, yo, turkey Dano. It's like,
Chicken Man. Like Chicken Man's pretty happy being a caster on his own, right?
Also Chicken Man's on Alpha X, I believe. So yeah, there are other things going on there. But yes, we will be expanding. We will be getting at least 2 more players, at least. I'll say this because I don't mind it. What's pretty obvious is we are pretty close to the Latin American scene, so we will be picking up some Latin American players. I teased that earlier in Discord as well, so yeah, keep an eye out on our social media for when the announcements happen.
Guess now on your phones.
Exactly. If you want some more StarCraft, you can see our weekly schedule here. Our next broadcast is tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. KST. That is Battle of the Americas. But before that, as people were talking about in the chat, the TSL 7 NA qualifiers are in a couple of hours. We would love to cast it, but we go to sleep. I say a couple of hours, mate. It starts in like half an hour.
Yeah. That's why today was so quick, really.
I
just didn't want to conflict.
Yes. So the EU qualifier is in 30 minutes. And yeah, it's too much StarCraft for us to cover.
The NA qualifiers are tonight. Yeah.
Yes, the NA qualifiers are in 6 hours. 6 hours.
There we go. One after the other, and there's going to be players from the EU who's going to be playing in the NA.
100%.
And they don't qualify, they're probably going to be playing in the KR.
Exactly. Like, that's just non-stop StarCraft this weekend, and it's going to be every weekend, because we have the Shopify qualifiers this weekend. Next weekend, we have a couple more Shopify qualifiers, and then straight into the DreamHack qualifiers. Like, oh god, it's going to be...
Which won't actually be next weekend, but just throughout the week, and then after that, the CSLB stream.
Yeah. There's a lot of StarCraft ahead of us. So if you enjoyed our cast and if you want to hear more of it, follow the channel. Follow us here on Twitch, everywhere else as well, Twitter, Facebook.
It is going to be a very eventful May.
Oh yeah. Very eventful, in more ways than one. But thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Congratulations, MeomaikA, as he is in the chat, Mikey Cat. And we will see you in 13 hours.
For Bota.
Ciao.
Bella.